All right. So last week, a lot of you guys seemed like a lot of people posted the video on the different forums. I noticed some people posted on Maverick or Mustang 7G, Bronco 6G, Maverick Truck Club maybe, Bronco 6G. And I think what you guys liked is that I went through the commodity showing how many orders and such. So if anything's changed for this week, I'll try to do the same thing. So as I go through the scheduling for this week, again, the scheduling notes is what's scheduling for this week. So we only know, for this week. A lot of times at the beginning of the month, they'll give us a forecast for the month coming up. But I kind of already went over that a couple of weeks ago. So this is going to be mainly going over this week's scheduling and any constraints. But then also the commodity is also updated as well each week too. And so we have new numbers on all of these because last week a lot of people like seeing what was the total number of orders out there and that other thing. So we'll update things that it might have changed this week and let you know on each of these models as we go through it. So I have both in front of me. So first, the 2024. Oh, before we get into that, so Ford did update that you now can put priority codes 3 to 9. So now they have opened it up and said it's no longer just in testing. They've taken that part of that note out and saying now you can update those orders to 3 to 9. Now, please don't call us, especially on the Maverick. We're probably not going to change those because we have those already stacked. In the future, probably like next year or for 2024 model year, we'll probably, as we put in like the orders that were carryovers, we will probably use those 3 to 9 and put new orders as 10. And then use that way, and that lets us know that hey, here the really important ones are that 3 to 9, and we can stack those orders that way. That just allows us to put more of those in different statuses. So that's how we're probably going to use it. So 24 Mustang. It is scheduling this week. It does say main commitment, which means that if a dealership, they've committed to give so many amount of vehicles or allocations to a dealer, that's what they mean by main commitment that they're going to try to fulfill. Now, for this week, they says exhausted commodities for August for the black painted roof. So which is optional on the Night Pony package, also exhausted on the optional 20-inch wheels. So what that means is that more than likely a Night Pony package the rest of this month probably won't get scheduled. We did see some last month get scheduled, but I think last month it said limited availability. Now it's saying exhausted. And I will say this, we have 5 allocations, and we have, of the 5 orders that are previewing, we had 0 that had the Night Pony packages previewing today. Now that can change. Each day can be different. And then what they scheduled could be totally different. We have 1 Dark Horse that's previewing. And then we also have 1 bronze appearance package previewing. The rest of them don't have either one of them. So anyway, so there you go, just a kind of preference of what we're seeing. And then currently it says there's 886 non-Dark Horse orders in the order banks. That'd be EcoBoost or GTs, convertible, coupes, everything except for Dark Horse. There's 886 orders in the order bank. So nothing's really changed on most of the numbers. The U.S. order bank percentage has gone down, of course, because they scheduled a bunch last week. And so that will affect those percentages to come down, but the capacities haven't changed any. So it's still 50% GT, 20% convertibles, 80% coupes. So you can have that. And then still 20% GT performance package. That's probably the biggest one that's over. They have too many orders, and what their capacity is the GT performance. But as they schedule more of those, that number will come down because, again, there's only 886 orders in the order bank. So there you go. And from what I understand, they are having a few delays at Flat Rock. So anyway. They're having some supply issues at Flat Rock. So one of them being that Night Pony package, of course. All right.
Do you have your list of terms?
Oh, yeah. Let's put that up. You guys can put that up while I'm talking, so you guys don't have to see me. All right.
There you go.
There you go. We'll put that up so you guys can read through that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 23 Escape. They are scheduling this week. For August production dates. I forgot to tell you Mustang was for August production dates as well. Looks like I did get some information that I believe the Escape is gonna build through into October. So October, sometime at the beginning of October, is when they're going to stop production for 23 and shift to 24. There you go. And don't forget, base and hybrid orders are retail only. And I believe also plug-in hybrid is retail only as well. So, and on the Escape, the only thing they have in here is that there's 1,895 orders in the order bank. And the only commodity constraint they have in here is the plug-in hybrid, being 35% of the orders in the order bank are plug-in hybrid, but only 7% of the orders that's their capacity, 7% for hybrid or for plug-in. So, all right, moving down, Bronco Sport. They are scheduling this week for August build dates. Of course, what's previewing for us was 4 Badlands, 1 Outer Banks. That's pretty much all it was previewing. I already put that up.
You wanted it to go away?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good now.
So we don't need. It was up for a little while.
Yeah.
If you guys want it back up, let me know. Yeah, so on the Badlands, don't forget the optional on both Badlands and the Outer Banks. The painted roof is optional because that's one of the constraints on here is the two-tone. They call it two-tone paint. 39% of orders want either a gray or a black roof on those instead of body colored, but only their capacity is 25%. But otherwise, moonroof is over capacity, so you might think about taking that off if you want to get scheduled quickly. Copilot 360 Assist Plus package is a little over capacity, but not by much. And the trailer tow hitch. But really, you'll notice Bronco Sport, even like last month, we'll talk about in a little bit, is their production level is doing really good right now. So I think you can just put your order in and you should be okay and get scheduled. So without any problem, it's getting to be on that one because they want to ramp up production on that to where I think about all of our retail orders are scheduled on that. So most dealerships are probably in the same boat. So, all right. Next, 23 Edge is scheduling for August production. This is going to be the startup of, actually, this is 24 Edge, sorry, is scheduling for August build dates, and that will be the start of 24 model year. There's 158 orders in the order bank for Edge. I think they scheduled some last week. So not really anything else other than that on there. Edge is one of those that's pretty easy to get. If you want an Edge, you should be able to put that order in and get scheduled pretty quickly from your dealer as long as they have allocations. 23 Bronco, let's talk about it. Scheduling this week for August build dates for specialty scheduling only. So some of you in the Bronco 6G probably already know that's out there. Specialty scheduling means Raptor and hybrid, or not hybrid. Raptor, don't you guys wish? Some of you. Raptor and Heritage Edition. Sorry, Heritage Edition. So for this week, or today, I should say, what we've seen scheduling for us, and keep in mind, we have 4 allocations, but we have 6 that are previewing because Raptors don't count in that number. Raptors are manually allocated. We have 2 Raptors that are previewing this week. We have 1 Heritage Edition 2-door, by the way, because that's kind of a big deal because of a note we have in here. Or we had last week anyway. It's not there this week. And then we have, for some reason, 3 Big Ben 2-doors that are also previewing, even though, according to Ford and their estimates, we've already been allocated all of our 2-door allocations. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens this week. If we get any 2-doors scheduled, that are for one, I wonder if any non-specialty ones will get scheduled, but if they do, I'm really curious to see because they told us what our estimate was, and that's one of the notes that I was kind of talking about last week was that is just an estimate, and if we had stopped taking orders at 3, which is what Ford said that we could do for this for the rest of this production cycle, then there'd be a couple customers that wouldn't have gotten a 2-door, but they'll probably get scheduled. So that's the reason why we go ahead and take those orders. So all right, moving on. Oh, and then notes for capacities. Don't forget, it says Raptor, Heritage Limited, not available for retail ordering. We know that the Raptors will be stock ordering. That's how those are manually allocated. Heritage and Heritage Limited have stop build lifted on the Lux package available for stock ordering and amendments. So it says Heritage Limited stop build lifted. And I think this is supposed to be a space there. It's supposed to be on the next line. Luxury package available for stock ordering and amendments. So anyway, so looks like to me Heritage is back on. In fact, we have a two-door that's previewing as well. So anyway, looks like that's probably good. Still got sales guys working here. See how loud they can be. All right, Bronco. We have 21,277 orders in the order bank. So there's still 206 in priority 99. Just a little puzzling there. And the numbers haven't changed any on this. On most of these, they're within capacity in about every trim level. The big thing is, and even two-door, their capacity on two-door is 15%, and the amount of orders in the order bank is 15.7%. So they're right within there. So they have about as many orders as what they could build on two doors. So having a two-door isn't, I mean, you're a little over capacity, but a few that could probably not get scheduled. But according to that, unless you have two-door and like a Lux package and a Sasquatch, that could make it a little bit more difficult for your order. But two-door alone, like if you're a Big Ben two-door or a non-Sasquatch or a non-Lux pack two-door, you probably will be doing okay. So the Sasquatch is over capacity still. 51% of the orders have the Sasquatch on it. 40% is the capacity. Lux package is 40% capacity, and 46% of the orders in the order bank have that on those orders. So there you go. Probably questions on the Bronco, but we'll get into those. Explorer is scheduling this week for August build dates. And base 100A is retail only. Nothing too much here. There's 1,328 orders in the order bank for Explorer starting the week. Overcapacity on moonroof, so you might think about taking that off if you have the moonroof, or be willing to wait. And you probably wouldn't have to wait too long on that. They might be overcapacity, but most dealerships should be able to get those scheduled. 23 Expedition is scheduling for August build dates. This would be the balance out or the end of 23 model year scheduling. So if you don't have a 23 scheduled yet, you might want to look at that. There's only 614 orders in the order bank that need to be scheduled for 23. So not too bad. Looks like dual exhaust is over capacity, and the only thing that really has dual exhaust in Expedition is that Stealth Performance. So they probably have to get those finished out. Long wheelbase is about 50-50 between regular length and max length. Orders in the order bank just about the same. There's actually 51%. And the mahogany trim on the 301A, that's that limited trim, is over capacity. So that might be why you're not getting scheduled. So if you have a limited in there, you're wondering why it's not scheduled. It's probably because of that color interior you have. So you might think about switching color interiors unless you want to get pushed to 24. So anyway, there you go. All right, 23 Maverick. Here we go. The 23 Maverick is scheduling this week. It is saying for retail and fleet scheduling for August build dates. Don't forget, take off your splash guards, bed covers, load bed liner, everything I've been telling you for about the last year. Okay, so there is a lot less. So they went ahead and canceled a bunch of orders. So now might be a good idea if you had an order to call Ford customer support or your dealer and find out if your order's still in there, because they now have. Last week we noticed there were 4,700 orders in priority 99. This week there's only 118. So it's probably the 118 left are the ones that those people called Ford and said, please don't cancel these. We did already, because a lot of times what happened on some of these orders was they were sent over to COVP, but if they changed the trim, a lot of the dealers didn't know that we had to do another COVP for that body code. So if you change the body code, it had to be redone. And a lot of dealers didn't know that. So Ford is being, they're really helping those dealers out. They helped us out to make sure not cancel our 8 orders that we had. So now capacity is about 50-50 hybrid to gas. We'll talk a little bit more about that during the Is It True section. Right now, orders in the order bank, about 83% of them are hybrid, which means last week they scheduled a bunch of EcoBoost, sounds like to me. So, there's only 17% of the orders in the order bank that are EcoBoost. So the letter that went out, I think we'll talk about that in just a second, will reference of the possibility of, switching to that. Anyway, XL, though, capacity is increased. We talked about last week, an increase we noticed is 25% now instead of 15%, but still 31% of the orders in the order bank are XL. All the others are within capacity for the most part. So yeah, they're all within. The Copilot 360 is actually over capacity. Or wait, nope, they're under. Okay, they're under on that one as well. That 5 looked like a 6 for a second. And then of course, take off your bed covers and your accessories and such. The sunroof was pretty close to being close to capacity, but it's actually well under. Only 12% of the orders in the order bank have the moonroof. That's a pretty good number. The trailer tow hitch is still over capacity. So that would include if it's in a package or not. If it's a standalone option, that's going to include all of them. So 73% of the orders in the order bank have the tow package, whether it be in a package or not. But their capacity is only 65%. And again, 29,900 orders in the order bank. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier or not, but there you go. Ranger, they did delay. I told you last week that this week is when they're going to start scheduling for 24. But they looks like they did push that back. So it looks like job 1 is supposed to start August 14th. And so they're not scheduling this week. So they've pushed back 1 week. So hopefully we come back next week and don't say the same thing to you. But hopefully that is going to be scheduled. They actually did say, though, in here that you need to remove the dealer installed option for the spare tire lock. That is not going to be available this year. So that is going to be an update. Actually, it says for the Ranger Raptor. So if you have a Ranger Raptor order with the spare tire lock, take that off. So anyway, and then otherwise, stock orders no longer available for 24 model year, it says. Which actually surprises me because they only have 1,800 orders in the order bank. That might change. So they'll probably want to get the retail scheduled first. So no commodity I shouldn't show you that. No commodity constraints on the Ranger yet. So F-150, she's switching out chairs. So F-150 23 is scheduling this week for build dates of the week of July 17th. It does say in here they need hybrid and 3.5 liter EcoBoost orders. So we're looking for those types of orders. So if you have a 3.5 Eco or hybrid, then you're going to be better luck having one of those orders if you have one. Limited scheduling on moonroofs. So hopefully you guys don't have a moonroof. No additional hybrid or heritage packages available. It sounds like I don't know if that's going to be for the rest of model year because it looks like to me that they're going to be building into November and actually almost completely their entire month of November. So it looks like we won't see 2024 F-150 production until probably December. So that's something else to keep in mind for F-150. Again, still limited on 20-inch all-terrain tires. Also limited on the 18-inch chrome appearance package wheel. And no 17-inch all-season tires for the base XL two-wheel drive, and no black running boards available. So anyway, you're probably better off just if you have one that would take that running board, unless it's on a package, taking that completely off your order. For us, this week we saw previewing. We have 5 trimmers that are previewing. 4 of them they'll be turned into trimmer 37s, a little special package we have here. We have 6 that are Raptors previewing. So we're actually a pretty big Raptor dealer. We're I think right now we're in the top 50 in the country at this point. So, all right. So that's that. And let's look at F-150 for a second here. For capacities and such, there's 3,242 orders in the order bank right now. So not that many. And this is not counting Raptor, not counting Lightning. And everything's really within capacity on everything. So just keep in mind, black appearance package, platinum black appearance package, XLT black appearance package, STX black appearance package. All those are really low number of production and capacity. So expect that if you have that on your order, it will take longer. The only one that's over capacity is the XLT black appearance package. But if you have that on your order, it probably will take longer. So make sure if you really want that you don't have anything else that could cause it, like a spray and liner or a bed cover. Make sure you have those taken off your order. It could be very difficult to get your scheduled if you don't. So, all right. Super Duty, 23 Super Duty is scheduling this week for build weeks, the week of the 17th of July and the week of the 24th of July. So it sounds like they're going to schedule for 2 weeks this week. Very limited scheduling on King Ranch and Platinum. We've seen that before. Exhausted availability unlimited. So if you have, like last week, we had 22 of our schedule, almost all of them, I think 20 out of 22 were Lariats. So we're seeing more Lariats schedule but we're not seeing any of our King Ranches Platinums or Limiteds getting scheduled right now. So anyway, so it might be encouraged. We actually, one person switched when they could. They switched from King Ranch to Lariat, and they got scheduled last week. So limited availability on the interior work surface. Also, exhaust availability for the F600 4x4, as well as the four-corner strobe light system, and also the 6.8 XL standard heavy duty as well, alternator. So standard heavy duty alternator. Got to finish that out. And limited availability on the black onyx trim. But we did see last week several Lariats with that color interior get scheduled. So even though it says limited, they still can get scheduled. So if you have the Baja, you probably have a better chance, but it still can get scheduled. So, see what else. Looking at Super Duty, it does show, of course, King Ranch. Their capacity on King Ranch is 4%, Platinum's 5%, and Limit is 2%. But orders in the order bank is 20, 25, and 12%. So you can tell they're way over capacity. Lariat, they're under capacity, which is 21%. And Tremor package, they're at 11% of the orders in the order bank, but 10% is their capacity. So they're a little over there. Otherwise, let's see what else. They're over capacity on the 6.7 diesel just by a little, 2%. Way over capacity on the high output 6.7 liter diesel engine. So like almost half the orders in the order bank have the new high output diesel engine, but only 10% is their capacity. In the 7.3, they're within capacity there at 19% though. Let's see what else. Tonneau covers for some reason. I don't know why people have tonneau covers on their orders, but take those off. Because 4% of the orders in the order bank have it on there, but only 1% is their capacity. If that's not showing you a little bit about what the capacity is for these accessories like tonneau covers, spray and liners, and everything else, that's a big clue that you just need to take those off your orders. Even the running boards, 11% is the capacity, but the orders in the order bank is 13%. Even the fifth wheel prep package, 26% is their capacity, but half of the orders in the order banks have that on there. So, yeah, there you go. So, all right, 39,000 orders are in the order bank, and there's still 1,600 orders in priority 99, which means they were waiting. Most of those are probably waiting on job 2 stuff. Well, they're out now. Dealers, you need to pay attention and fix those and drop them down out of 99. Your customers are never going to get scheduled. So, and if you are somebody out there on the Super Duty, you don't have to do that with us, but other dealers, you probably want to go and talk to them about it because there's probably a problem there. All right, moving on to Transit Connect. Transit Connect is scheduling for the weeks of pretty much August build dates, basically, for this. Looks like they are planning to produce Transit Connect, this is the last year for Transit Connect in the U.S. through into December. So almost a complete month of December. So they are planning to produce clear through the year on Transit Connect. They have about 5,888 orders in the order bank that are Transit Connect orders. So, and there's no constraints on this. So not sure. Transit. They are scheduling this week for the production week of August 28th. So they're scheduling way in advance on this. And same constraints as before. We've talked about it. Currently not available is the power sliding door, option 65C, and they're saying not available at all. So if you have that on your order, you need to change that or you won't see it. Limited availability for the 360-degree camera, the power outlet, the low roof bus, the 3.5 liter engine, the GTDI engine, that's option 99G, and the trail package is which is 47N. So if you're waiting for that, very limited availability on the trail package. They are needing orders for the BEV, so they're still looking for some of those e-transits. And then they are balanced out on some options: the depopulated key fob, which is probably good, the power running boards, the side 60/40 barn doors, all the crew van body codes, and the 10360 GVWR for vans, chassis, and cutaways. And I don't know if we need to go over the capacities on most of those stuff. There are still 17,000 orders in the order bank for Transit. So a lot of them in there. We still have a bunch that aren't scheduled, and it's not looking great for those, though. All right. So, and then lastly, where's my Mach-E? I moved Mach-E. Maki, it is scheduled this week for August build dates. Looks like probably for August 21st or later, because we have two that are previewing this week that are configurations that Ford says they aren't going to start scheduling for until the week of August 21st. Because as I say, all-wheel drive standard range battery is not available for production until that week of August 21st. And the two that we have previewing are premium all-wheel drives with the standard range. So that's good news for those people that are wanting that, are waiting for that. And I don't know what I did with my Maki. There it is. Here it
I was
is.
gonna say it's gone.
It's here somewhere. Mach-E non-GT all-wheel drive. About 66% of the orders in the order bank are the non-GT all-wheel drive, and 42% is their capacity. And then the standard range battery, that new one, 69% of the orders in the order bank have that battery. People wanting that standard range, but 20% is their capacity. Catch this though, orders in the order bank, 105. So that's retail, and we are talking retail orders. So like we have some stock orders in the order bank, but that we all these numbers when we say how many orders in the order bank are retail orders. That's customer orders. So keep that in mind. It's not including stock orders. So once dealerships, like for us, we have all of our F-150 retails already scheduled, then we're looking for we earn allocations so we can fulfill stock orders. Like all of our trimmers that are previewing this week are all stock orders because we have all of our retail customer F-150 scheduled. Same way on Expedition and Escape and Explorer, we don't have any retail orders in the order bank for those, but we get allocations because we'll get stock orders, and that's how we see those. So anyway, there you go. All right, questions on that?
All right. Let's see. I've just been starring questions.
Any about production and scheduling?
Well, I think you're gonna go over this one.
If it has to do with Maverick, we're going to talk about Maverick later.
Yeah.
We can.
So we're gonna go over that one. I'm waiting for an F-250 Super Duty. I've been told production is delayed, waiting for the Godzilla engine. Have you heard what that delay is?
Okay, so we talked about the production numbers. There's not necessarily. It's the amount of those engines that they can produce, right? What was that percentage we talked about? I don't know. Flip back into it. Would I say what half the orders in order bank for the high output? Here, hold on. So when you look at the Godzilla, 19% is their capacity, but there's only 15% of the orders in order bank are wanting the 7.3 liter. So that's really not bad. I mean, we're getting those scheduled. We had some scheduled last week. So, and sometimes what you hear too, you have to be careful on is that sometimes dealers will tell you they won't actually look things up and get educated, and they'll just tell you things that hopefully will like get you to like not come back for a while. I mean, I hate to say that, but if you're coming back going, "Hey, mine's not been scheduled yet. What's going on?" and everything, they may like tell you something so that you can maybe so you'll like, hey, maybe if I tell them this, they'll back off for a little bit and give me some time for it to schedule and that kind of thing. And I get it, but we just need to be honest with our customers and tell them what's going on. If we don't know, we need to say that. I mean, I have one. We have a member that has a Super Duty order, and
Yep.
I'm trying to help him get it scheduled. We removed the gooseneck prep kit, and then this last last week, 20 of them got scheduled. He has a Lariat, 20 Lariats scheduled. Okay. We looked, we're like, oh, well, let's take off the gooseneck. It still didn't schedule. But we had 12 orders that did have that on there that scheduled. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not it, even though it's saying it's a constraint. The only thing I can think of is he's got that 18-inch wheel. That was a constraint, which is not showing up this week. So, but Ford was showing that it was. So I cannot know for the life of me, look at his orders and figure out what is the constraint on his order. So, and I'm honest with him. He knows that. He's like, hey, I'm trying the best. I just don't know what else to look at because I don't see anything constrained. But yet, when I look at your order in there, there's a column in there where it shows the previewing, and there's an NSP. So that means that it can't be previewed. And I'm not seeing anything on there that is showing why it can. I'm right now. I'm about ready to call to contact our the sales and inventory manager and say, can you look at this order? What am I missing here? which is weird because you scroll over it, it'll list you a bunch of things, and one of them was a gooseneck hitch, one was 18-inch wheel, and the other was the color, which was rapid red. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense either because we had rapid reds that scheduled. So anyway, so yeah, it's difficult. So we just need to be honest with our customers and tell them that if we don't know, we don't know,
Yeah.
and it's okay.
We have talked about. Have we talked about 24 Rangers yet?
Yeah. So they were supposed to start scheduling this week, but they pushed it back a week. So in fact, I told them in the Ranger group, a lot of them were like, "Hey, Ford Video guys said that they're going to start producing those August 7th." And that's what the information I got last week. Now it's saying August 14th, so they are pushing it back a week. So they probably just weren't quite ready.
Yeah.
Probably quality check. They are producing these Rangers. They're producing some for like journalists, their reps and such to go out and drive in them to make sure they're good. We also saw Mike Levine driving a Raptor, so we know they're producing them. And so that gets them quality checks. And so they're probably producing them, and things aren't quite 100% or something. And so that's probably why it's delayed, is that they want to make it right. So they are done with launching a vehicle and having things be a problem. So they want quality launches. So that's probably why we're seeing another week delay for that. So.
All right. I'm confused regarding the 3% production from Bronco. What exactly is 3% of?
The total number. So out of 21,000 orders in the order bank, 3% of that number is what they feel like they can make this model year of what's left, right?
Yeah.
So, like let's say they decide to schedule 5,000 orders this month. What's 3% of 5,000? That's how many hybrid or how many Heritage Editions they'll schedule. So, yeah, and 12% of the orders in the order bank are Heritage Edition, which means there's going to be 9% that will not get scheduled probably this model year, and will have to get put in again for 2024 model year. So, yep. So if you add all the numbers for that up between the Heritage Edition, here, let's look at it. So if you look at Bronco, their capacity on Black Diamond is 8%, Big Ben is 18%, Outer Banks is 23%, Badlands is 20%, Wild Track is 15%, and Heritage is 3%. Somebody do the math. Hopefully that adds up to 100. But anyway, so 20, 40, 60, 75, 80. Yeah, I think that's about right. It's close. Anyway, that should up to 100%. So that's a capacity for each of the different trims. Raptor is not included in that, as well as Heritage Limited Edition. Those are different. So anyway, little correction here. So someone messaged me through Bronco 6G. I want to thank them for doing this. And there's a Heritage thread going on in there. And they let me know, include me in that I contradicted myself, and you're right, I did. So things happen when you're live, folks. Anyway, so I did contradict myself, so I am incorrect. So here's what the 3% is based off of the production. So in each month, I think actually Bronco is averaging about 12,000 vehicles a month. And so that 3% is going to be based off of that number for that month. So, and things can change. Keep in mind that as well. So, they may, their goal, say, hey, for production, here's how many within a production month we're going to build of each of these different things. And we went through those percentages in that clip right there, in that part of the video. But for the Heritage Edition, for instance, 3%, if let's say, just for even math for me, it's 10,000 is what they're going to produce this month. 3%, that'd be 300 units. 300 of those vehicles would be Heritage Edition. So if that helps make sense. So yes, I was incorrect. It's not based off the unscheduled orders. That's what they have in there. That's not necessarily what they plan to produce. So that's 3%. Now, the other number that I mentioned, that 12 or 14%, I can't remember what it was now, top of my head, that was how many unscheduled orders they have. That number could change. So as they schedule some of those and some of the other models and other trims, those numbers that will take away from those and can possibly bring that percentage down. Just like on the Maverick, when we talked about where it was the orders that were hybrid orders out there was made up 75% of the orders. Now, because they've scheduled so many EcoBoost, that number's gone up to 83% of what's left over on unscheduled, but that doesn't change what their production percentage is based off of and their capacity. So I wanted to make sure I updated that and get you the good information, because I kind of said both. First, I said it was based off of those unscheduled 20,000 orders, and then I said it was based on a monthly from the monthly production number. The true answer and the correct answer is that 3% is the capacity off of what their production cycle and run is typically for that month. So, and just keep in mind things can change if they have supply issues, if they have some shortages, if they have some sort of hitch in the production for that. That might be it. But scheduling wise, that's how it should be scheduled out, if that makes any sense. So, anyway, so there we go. I want to make sure I clarified that in this part of the video, since it was a little unclear in the live stream. So, hope you guys enjoy that. Back to the video.
All right. Did we
We
go?
have a new member. Did we put that in here?
Not yet.
Let's welcome Michael in.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed it popped up. So.
Yeah, I had it over here.
Oh, okay.
Did we go over the full number for Super Duty? Like how many orders total?
39,000.
Okay. All right.
The biggest right now, here are the vehicles that are probably having the most issue. Most of them, most models, when you put them in there, should not take long to get scheduled at this point, other than Super Duty, Bronco, Maverick. Those are the big three that are struggling to get scheduled. And then, of course, Ranger hasn't started yet. So those are the three that has the highest amount of waiting orders at this point. So.